So this story time all happens during the summer of when I was in sixth grade. And so there's a little bit of like a story that came before this, which I think is up on the channel, but I'll give you guys a quick recap so that you go watch it afterwards because watch time is good. But basically what happened was like literally a week before the story I'm about to tell you happened. Basically, this is a little embarrassing, but I was in sixth grade, like cut me some slack. So basically, like a week before this story time happened, I was at this tennis camp, and there was this girl there. And because I was in sixth grade and just had never talking, dude, I'm an idiot. TLDR, when I was in sixth grade, I was not a master whiz at talking to the ladies, to put it nicely, right? So basically, I saw this girl, and she happened to be like 3 years older than me, so strike one right there. But then I decided that the best route I should take is to one, not to talk to her. The best route or the best plan of action would be to basically give her my email. No, I'm not kidding, bro. And run away. Yeah, so let's just say it did not go down well. So, I mean, obviously she never responded to the email because I just like randomly ran up to her. I'm like, hi, and I just give her a piece of paper with my email and ran away. So in my head, that made a lot of sense, but in reality, that made no sense. But basically, so I went to this tennis camp with a friend, and a week later, I went to his house to go see him. I hadn't seen this guy like in the last like 4 years, but I saw him a couple weeks ago. He's pretty cool. It was good to reconnect with him and everything. And I forgive him for this because honestly, bro, if I was him, if we like switch places as I am now, I definitely would have done the same thing. Like, I deserved this. I honestly did deserve it. But at the time, I was like, really, bro? Anyways, so like a week after the whole thing that I told you about earlier that I do not feel like repeating because I'd like to say it as few times as possible, right? I try not to remind myself of that time, even though I made several videos on it. Hey, man, you need content sometimes, right? Anyways, right, so I'm at his house. We're, like, hanging out. I'm there. I'm going to be there for, like, a good amount of time. Like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. Mom was out doing something. This was sixth grade, man, right? So we kind of, like, we didn't run out of things to do, but I think it was just, like, it was kind of, like, winding down. We still had some time. So my friend was, like, all right, because my friend knew what happened. I don't know why I'd want to tell anyone about this. Like, for some reason at the time, I was proudly telling people that I ran up to some random chick that was like 4 years older than me, gave her like my Hotmail email address and ran away. That was, for some reason, something I told people, but you know what? The mind of me in sixth grade is not one that I'm responsible for now, so I'm not going to try and explain. So anyways, this guy, my friend that I was with, must have been kind of bored or must have just been like, you know what? Just in the spirit of trying to like pull a bit of a prank on me, which at the end of the day, I deserve everything that I had coming to me. I'm going to be honest, I definitely deserve what I had coming. But anyway, so he's like, okay, he knows about the story, and he also knows, right? He also knows that I gave her my email address. So he knows that I know that she is at least aware of who I am. So he decides to go on his phone and is like, because like she had a brother at the camp as well, the Hotmail girl. That's what I'm going to call her because I gave her my like Hotmail email address and ran away. I don't want to specify that part every single time. So I'm just going to call her the Hotmail girl, and I think we can all agree that that is what we'll be saying. Anyways, the Hotmail girl had a brother at this camp, and my friend was kind of friends with, or at least friendly enough to have him on Instagram, or at least be in some kind of communication. I don't know what was up in sixth grade. I was like limited to an email address and like an iPad mini too, so I was just there playing Minecraft Lite and also just iMessaging people. So I was definitely out of the loop of what like people communicated on, but it's probably like Instagram or something at the time. But basically, he was like, hey Connor, like, I know that she hasn't responded to you, but like I have a Hotmail girl's brother on iMessage or Instagram or whatever. And I was like, what? It's actually kind of cringe how like excited I was looking back. But look, I was in eighth grade. No, I was not in eighth grade. I was like in sixth grade, or no, I wasn't even in sixth grade at this time. I was in fifth grade going into sixth grade, which still too old for being an idiot like this, but still, it was quite a while ago. But I was like excited. I was like, oh, you do? He was like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna text Hotmail girl's brother to see if like he can talk to her for me and like I can get you guys in like communication. And I was like, my heart was racing, bro. I was so excited. Obvious bait, like looking back on it, so obvious bait. And even at the time, I was like, dude, I don't believe you. But I wanted to believe him so badly that I let myself believe him. Never making this mistake ever again, right? At least I learned a lesson from this. But anyways, so he goes on with it. He's like, yeah, dude. Oh, he responded to me, dude. Like, Hotmail Girl's brother responded. I was like, no way. Obviously, he didn't, right? Basically, what happened was he got, like, one of, like, our mutual friends to, like, play the role. Like, this was a whole sting operation to just catch me lacking, right? But anyways, right? He's like, oh, my God, Hotmail Girl's brother responded. He just gave me Hotmail Girl's, like, text information. I was like, oh my God, I'm actually going to talk to... Obviously not, right? But at the time, I was like convinced because at the time I was good at convincing myself that things that weren't going to happen were going to happen. That was a skill of mine. Not a useful skill, but definitely something I was very good at. So basically, we go down to his ping pong room, which I actually went back. Here, it's funny, dude. Like, when I saw him, like, 2 weeks ago, we're having a normal conversation, and then it was, like, me and another guy's like, yo, let's go down to the ping pong room. And as I was walking down the stairs, I was like, bro, do you because like this like triggered the flashback of this memory. I was like, dude, do you remember the time? And then I explained it to him briefly. But basically, right back to the story. He's like, yo, let's just go down to the ping pong room. And we were playing ping pong, and he was like looking at his phone. And he's like, "Oh my God, dude!" He what's her name? Hotmail Girl responded to me. I was like, "Oh my God," because at this time, I told him like a bunch of times, I'm like, I know you're trolling, but I really didn't want to believe that. So I was now at the point where I just forced myself to. I didn't force myself. I tricked myself into believing an obvious lie. Right? He wasn't doing a great job with the prank. It was very suspicious and fishy. He wouldn't let me look at anything. He was just telling me, he's like, oh, trust me. I was like, I totally trust you. And he was like, oh my God, she responded. I asked if she knew who you are. And I was like, oh my God, does she know who I am? Does she know? Because I was like fully invested at this point. And he's like, she does. I was like, oh my. I was like freaking out, bro. I was like, yes, she's going to respond to my email. Dude, I can't get over the fact that I gave her an email. Because in my head, like, people in movies would give, like, girls numbers at bars, right? So I didn't have a number. I was like, I'll just slip her my email, bro. Like, same thing. Totally not the same thing. Anyways, I was like, hey, can I see the message? And then he gave me this look, like this kind of, like, half smile thing. And that's when I knew. I was like, it's not real. And he's like, dude, it's not her. I was like, I knew that. But I had to say it like through like a grimace because I had convinced myself that it was real, even though obviously it wasn't. And I just painfully was like, yeah, dude, I know. And yeah, I was like very sad for the rest of the day. I was just like, oh, okay. It's so kind of like weird looking back, but that was just kind of a funny story that I thought I'd tell because I saw him a couple weeks ago. And, you know, I like sharing my pain with you guys because you guys enjoy it. You guys could do me a big old favor and click on one of the 4 videos on screen you see right now. Just watch another video really helps me out. And there's a playlist on the screen, which is story times. If you want to go check out my old story time videos, I bet you haven't seen them all. If you have a little bit of time, click on that, watch a few videos. Actually really does help out the channel. And also notifications on if you could. And yeah, peace.